Hi, and welcome to a very special Results Helpline edition of Career Stories podcast. I'm Carrie, and I'm delighted to be joined by the Scottish Government's Cabinet Secretary for Education, Culture and Gaelic, and Member of the Scottish Parliament, Màiri McAllan. Welcome.
Hi, Carrie. Nice to be here.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice to meet you as well. You have packed a lot into your career so far, having first been elected to Scottish Parliament for the Clydesdale constituency in 2021. You've served as Cabinet Secretary in various portfolios, including Net Zero and Housing since 2023, and you're also a former Special Advisor for the First Minister. So in your pre-politics days, you were a corporate lawyer specialising in energy and natural resources, while also co-founding human rights organisation Reblaw Scotland. Have I said that right?
Reblaw, it's short for Rebel.
Reblaw. Oh, amazing. And if all of that doesn't keep you busy enough, you also have a toddler at home. So we certainly appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and we're going to chat about the upcoming Results Helpline for young people getting their exam results, while also hearing a bit more about your own career story. So thank you so much again for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yay. So your title is Cabinet Secretary for Education, Culture and Gaelic, and your MSP for Clydesdale. So that sounds like two very busy jobs. Can you tell us a little bit about what those roles involve?
Yeah, of course. So they are. You're right to kind of describe them as two jobs, because that's essentially is as the member of the Scottish Parliament for Clydesdale. It's quite interesting. I actually I live in the area and I grew up there and I went to school there. So I'm now representing the schools and the places where I grew up and where I attended. But being an MSP is about being a champion for your area, supporting people in the area. So I have an office in my constituency where me and my four members of my team, we support folks with a whole range of stuff, from health queries right through to housing and transport and all the areas that are devolved to Scotland. So you're basically there to support people and champion the area. Yeah. And then on the other side, in my role in government, it's for the whole of Scotland. So as the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Culture and Gaelic, I suppose I'm the most senior political leader in these areas for the whole of Scotland. So it definitely keeps me busy alongside my wee one that you were mentioning, my wee Sorlia. So he's turning 2 in a few weeks.
Oh, that's so exciting. What a lovely age, eh? They just get funner as they get older.
Yeah, he's a chatterbox, and from the minute he wakes up in the morning, he just wants to chat and read books and run around, and he's wild.
Oh, that's perfect. That's the perfect mix though, isn't it? So if we go back to the start of your career journey, you mentioned it yourself, so you're from South Lanarkshire, from Biggar. What can you tell us about your school experience, like your strengths, any moments that stand out with your shaping your career path?
Yeah, so I think I loved school. I think, when people say you don't appreciate it's the best years of your life, I did appreciate it at the time. I was like, this is great. I get to see my friends every day, get to learn, got great teachers. So no, I loved it. I went to primary and high school in Biggar. I suppose moments that stand out. So I met my primary 5 teacher recently when I was out and about in the constituency, and she reminded me that one day I had just come in and announced to her that I'm going to be a lawyer, Mrs. Houston, that was her name. So which I had forgotten about, but it's funny that when you're 8, you have these ideas of what your life might turn out to be. And then, other moments, I suppose, that stand out are probably later when I was in high school, and, certain teachers that really inspired you. Even though I had thought I wanted to be a lawyer, obviously, when I was in P5, actually, by the time I got into school, there was times when I thought about leaving school in 4th year and things. So there's definitely been a journey, but I loved school, and I felt very lucky to have so many wonderful teachers. And as I say, just to see my pals every day and enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think that's it. A lot of people that I speak to in school, like there is that mixture of the teachers, the friends, and then, like you say, there's people going, I think I want to leave. So it's just finding what's right for each individual. So obviously getting your school exam results, like we all remember it, it's not a moment you forget at all. It's a big moment in your school time. And right now, thousands of young people across Scotland are all waiting to get their results. And it's a really odd time. You've sat your exams and you're having to have that wait, and it can feel quite difficult. How did you feel when you were waiting on your results to arrive? Did you get what you were hoping for?
So my heart goes out so much to everybody who's waiting just now. It is nerve-wracking. You're also trying to forget about it and just enjoy your summer holidays.
Yeah.
And I would encourage them to do that. You've done your exams now, and what will be will be. But I do remember it. My heart was beating out my chest. I think the text and email service had really only just started when I was doing mine, and I didn't opt in. I thought, no, I'll just wait and get the post. So I was, waiting a bit longer than some of my friends. Actually, probably regretted not having signed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also remember this weird Paolo Nutini's second album had just come out at that time, and there's a song on it called "Worried Man," and that was actually playing as the postie came up.
Oh my goodness!
Came up to deliver them. But yeah, I think I got what I wanted. When I was in fifth year, I had applied for law at that point, and I knew that some of the universities needed, A's across the board, and I didn't get that at all. But I knew that I could speak to my careers advisor in the school and Skills Development Scotland and others to help me work out, where my grades might let me go. Yeah. And then also I was really lucky because Glasgow Uni, where I ended up going, for their intake into law, they didn't just go on your grades. They did something called an LNAT, which also kind of tested your aptitude for law, which allowed them to bring people like me in who hadn't gotten straight A's.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's really important is like so many people, they feel like I've had people come to me and say, oh, I didn't do that well. I got some B's. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I think we sometimes we put ourselves down, don't we? Because if any of your friends said to you, oh, I got all B's, you'd be like, oh, amazing, well done. Whereas if it's yourself, sometimes you hold yourself to that higher standard, don't you? So it's so good that different universities look at you.
Absolutely. And you can't help but think about, oh, what are my friends getting and everything. But the thing is, everyone's got their own pathway, and there's absolutely no wrong turn. There's no wrong door. Yeah. I think that we had this for a long time. There was this idea that, you've got one path in life and you have to find it as soon as possible and stick to it. And that's you. That's just not the way that it is now. It's not the way it's been for me. And for everybody waiting, just try and put it out your mind just now, and then know when they do come through, no matter what happens, you're never alone and there's always people to help you. Yeah.
And so that kind of brings us on to, like, we have got the Results Helpline that does run so it starts on results day from 8 a.m, and people can phone, and in your exam results there will be a leaflet that has the phone number on it as well. And it can be, I've worked the Results Helpline quite a few times, and it's so rewarding as a careers advisor to be on that day, and it does run for a couple of days after as well. But the support doesn't end there. So yeah, the Results Helpline is there for people to have that conversation, to almost like sense make, to get some guidance around what's there. And it's a very mixed range of people that phone up.
Oh, I can imagine. And it's such an important service, and I'm so glad that it's there, and it's got folks like yourselves, Carrie, running it, and just that feeling that from the minute you get your results, there are people there to help you work them out and work out what's next. So you're never alone.
Yeah,
ever.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the main things I've found, is that a lot of the time it is people just, needing somebody to talk to. I've had people crying and upset about the results. I've had people who've done better than they thought that they were going to do, and kind of going, oh, hold on, is there more things that I could do now? So it's a lovely mix of different people that phone up. We do get, I would say majority of people that phone it's are young people who have got the results, but probably about 30% is parents, carers as well. So, I've had them from another room, can you please speak to my daughter? She's upset. And, I think it's so important that there is that there, because like a lot of like qualifications have changed. They're different to, not even from when I was at school. Like it's, it's not standard grades anymore. I think I was the last year that did standard grades. You've got your Nat 5s, you've got parents who've done O grades, you've got parents who have come in from different countries who have no idea what our qualifications mean. So it's really important that, there's someone there that they can talk to and kind of sense make, what does this mean? Because it can look a bit confusing.
That's a really good point, actually, all the different interpretations that people of probably our age, Carrie, and then our parents and things like that. It's all very, very different. So, but the person on the other side of that phone understands what your grades mean now. So, get onto them if you need them. And then also your school will be available and the wee while after that as well to speak to about.
Definitely.
What's next?
Yes, exactly. And I think that as well, it's just about kind of thinking that all the advisors, we've got I think it's about 50 advisors from across the whole of Scotland who are going to be on the Results Helpline. And actually 92%, it's a really high figure, 92% of people who've phoned up the helpline have felt like it has been really helpful to them and it's made a big difference to how they've felt on the day. So that's something that we're really keen to continue. And everyone who goes onto the Results Helpline has that specialised training. And also we are careers advisors, and that support doesn't end on the day of results, and it doesn't end on the day that you phone. Either the person that they speak to on the phone, they'll continue supporting them, or it could be that they'll hand them over to their local careers advisor, their school careers advisor, whoever they've got that good relationship with. Last year I got lots of emails. One of your pupils is phoned up. Can you get in touch with them? And you're straight away on the phone to them, checking in with them and making sure they're okay. So although I think sometimes you'll think, it's the summer holidays, there's nobody there. School goes in on results day. Careers advisors, we don't get the summer holidays, so we're there all the time.
No, and I think that'll be really reassuring. And I loved what you said about the a leaflet with the contact details coming with the results, so that you know exactly where to go as soon as you feel ready to chat it through. Yeah,
so you obviously, we're kind of spoken about the Results Helpline. Your exam results are just a tiny part of your journey. I think if somebody had spoken to my teachers when I was at school saying, she'll have a degree, she'll have a postgraduate degree, she'll be in a professional job, I think they would have been a bit surprised based on my exam results. So it just goes to show that the results you get on that day, they don't need to define you for the rest of life, because at the end of the day, they are a piece of paper. Your exam results were just one part of your journey, and you went on to become a lawyer. So we had some trainee lawyers from Harper McLeod recently on the podcast, which spoke about the skills and what they had. Is there skills that you learned as a lawyer that you feel are useful now to you in your current roles?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's funny you mentioned Harper McLeod. I was a solicitor with Harper McLeod.
Oh, there you go. Small world.
Yeah, just after I qualified, it's quite a long journey to qualify as a solicitor, and then my first post-qualification job was with Harper's, and I loved it. So I've no doubt the trainees are having a great time there. Look, there's a lot of similarities. I suppose I always kind of think of being a lawyer is about helping people navigate and understand the law as it stands, and then being a politician and being a government minister is about making the law. So they're kind of two sides of the coin, and there's loads of skill crossover. I mean, I think being able to read a lot of information and understand what the key points are, and then present them coherently. Obviously, being able to mount an argument, it's important as a lawyer, and it's important as a politician. But I think the one thing that for me, I always felt that even though I maybe wasn't the most academic person, I always felt a sense that I had a voice. I could stand up and I could speak, and as both a lawyer and a politician, I just thought, well, if I can do that for myself, I'm going to try and do it for other people who can't raise their voices. So, and that's the same, there's loads of careers that are like that, whether it's law, politics, social work, health, education, what you're doing, Carrie. Once you feel confident in yourself and you can speak up and articulate how you feel, do it for others.
Yeah. Definitely. And I think sometimes it's almost easier, isn't it, to speak up for others than to speak up for ourselves. It can feel nicer. So you're new to the post of Cabinet Secretary for Education, Culture and Gaelic. So what's something that's maybe surprised you since you've taken up that portfolio? Any favourite parts of the job?
It's a really interesting question. I mean, I think surprising, is probably the breadth, because if I just take the education part of it, you might think it's school age education, and then it's lifelong learning, and it's tertiary and whatnot. But actually, the responsibilities go right back to before a child's even born, and you're trying to shape the best outcomes for them in various ways. So it's a very broad portfolio, especially when you add in culture and languages. But the best part about it is just getting to meet amazing young people and older people who are doing everything they can to make young people's lives better. I mean, there's just nothing more rewarding. There are so many outstanding people the length and breadth of Scotland who are, as I say, either young people absolutely shining or older folks who are dedicating their careers to helping young people reach their very best of their potential. And there's just nothing better than meeting all of them, whether it's, in every corner of the country. And recently it was a funny one, I got to go back to my old high school.
Oh, lovely.
At Bigger High, and go to their award ceremony at the end of the year. Again, it wasn't something that I often was at. I never got the top prizes or anything like that. So, but I got to sit there and just watch and listen to the outstanding achievements from the young peoples through, academic achievement, sporting achievement, voluntary, music, doing things in the community for other people, a whole range of other qualifications that were not available. When I was at school, like barista skills and more. So I'm just constantly impressed by the young people in Scotland.
Amazing. And then how important is work-life balance? Like what do you do to unwind? Because you've got two very busy roles, very different roles. How do you unwind?
Yeah, but I probably would be fibbing if I said I had a great work balance, but I would definitely encourage others to seek it out in life. But that was having my wee one is definitely added to the challenge of balancing all of that. But it's a joy as well. I think what do I like to do? Spending time with Sorley is challenging and rewarding and both relaxing and not harassing at the same time. Yeah, totally. But like I still live in South Lanarkshire, as I say, in my constituency, and I live rurally, so I love to go just walking out in the hills. I like reading, listening to music. I sing a wee bit, which again was a big part of what I did at school and just what made me love school, being involved in like music and with my music teachers. I had a great relationship. So all of that. And whilst I can't say that I'm a good poster person for a work-life balance, I would encourage others to seek it.
Definitely. Have you got any final words of advice for young people who will be expecting their results on the 4th of August?
So I think, first of all, just enjoy the days between now and then. You're on holiday, you've worked really hard, and try to put it out of your mind just now. And then when it comes to opening them, remember everything we've said today about all the support that's around you, and to talk you through what's next. There is genuinely no wrong next steps for you, whether it's in further staying on at school, or further education, or higher education, or training, or work. I have so much confidence in the young people of Scotland, and I just want them to have that in themselves, which many of them do. And if you're lacking it at all, you've got lots of people around you to support you. And the final thing I think is, it's that point again about there definitely used to be this feeling that you left school and you had one path. And you got on that path as soon as you could and you didn't come off it. But that's so different now. People will do many, many different things in their lives. And it's really exciting what's next. So remember resilience. Even when things don't go your way, the most important thing is being able to bounce back and know that there's lots of opportunities ahead.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to me today. It's been so lovely having a chat with you. And good luck to everyone receiving the results soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carrie. Lovely to be with you. And good luck to everybody. And I'm sure I'll hear about all the results in time.
Yes. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much to the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Culture and Gaelic for joining us today. Just a reminder that the Results Helpline opens on the 4th of August through till the 7th of August, and we're here to help if you need any support at all and guidance around your next steps. And we're there for the whole year as well. And we'll see you next time on another episode of Career Stories.